We mourn the death of Lawrence Charles, better known as Tig, of Grace, Vieux-Fort. Lawrence passed away at his residence in Grace on Sunday, September 10th, 2017 at 1:24 p.m. He was 84 years old. Left to mourn his wife, Marie and Celia Charles of Grace, Vieux-Fort. His children, 9 sons, Harold Isidore of Miami, Leo Harrigan of Castries, Philbert Charles, better known as Charlie of Grace, Samson Charles of Grace, Vieux-Fort, Alexander Charles, employee of Buckeye Terminals, Joseph Charles of the Turks and Caicos Islands, Vincent Charles, better known as Willett or Bui of Grace, Alan Joseph residing in Jacmel, Eldon Charles of the Turks and Caicos Islands. 4 daughters, Jennifer Tobier of Auger, Leah Charles of Grace, Vieux-Fort, Kyrianne Charles Brunadin of Miami, Fabiana Charles, better known as Fabi of Grace, Vieux-Fort. 48 grandchildren, Sheldon Joseph, Gabriella Joseph, Mandy Joseph, Shamika Joseph, Kevon Joseph, Melba Charles, Nelson Charles of Miami, Ember Isidore, Jamil Didier of TNT, Troy Emmanuel, Desmond Emmanuel, Neryl Charles, Annabelle Charles, Joshua Charles, Stella Charles, David Charles, Jonathan Charles, Daniel Charles, Hannah Charles, Sherman Myers, Kieran Charles, Yaslin Celestin, Kara Brunadin of Miami, Ethan Charles of Turks Islands, Jaantai Charles of Turks Islands, Anelka Samuel, Shervin Charles, Faith Henry of Barbados, Christian Charles, Alexavier Forbes of Turks Islands, Cristanio Charles of Turks Islands, Crisano Charles of Turks Islands, Tennyson Harrigan in Barbados, Leola Harrigan, Camille Harrigan, Steffi Harrigan, Krista Henry, Simon Henry, Kearney Henry, Marfil, Marvin, Melsa, and Melba Charles, all of Larissos, Vieux-Fort, Ishmael Jules, Natalie St. Amy, Jonathan Fontenelle and family, Jeremy and Harold Isidore of Miami. 28 great-grandchildren, Joanna Fontenelle, Janique Fontenelle, Angela Isidore, Jeremy Isidore II, Diana Isidore, Harold Isidore III, Jarvest Isidore, Kernieve Henry, Kernil Henry, Mikla Henry, Raul Marthre, Kiona Sejour, Keon Sejour, Shunis Joseph, Carrie Augustine, Zahara Robertson, Jaden Louisi, Emily Isidore, Lizzie Sonson, Sanil Joseph, Brian Celestin, Gideon Celestin, Judah Celestin, Kai Charles, Jeannelie Polymus, Dre Joseph, Furnish Joseph, Caitlin Emmanuel. 2 brothers, Julius Charles of Miami and Robertson James, better known as Radio of Auger. 2 sisters, Petronine Johnny and family of Larissos, Vieux-Fort, Mary James and family of Auger, family of his deceased sister, Muriel Charles of Grace. 7 daughters-in-law, Camilla Harrigan of Castries, Marie Charles of Vieux-Fort, Cindy Charles of Grace, Nancy Charles of Grace, Edin Charles of Turks, Brenda Charles of Turks, Bernia Vijay of Grace. 2 sons-in-law, Stephen Tobier of Auger, Uriah James of Grace. Many nieces including Justina Calixt of Grace, Mary Charles of Grace, Magdalene William of Grace, Andrina Charles of Castries, Vernita Charles of Grace, Barbara Charles of Grace, Clara Charles, Diana, Joanna, Danny, Lilia James, Ruth Johnny. Nephews including Francis X. Charles of Larissos Vieux-Fort, Cletus Charles of Larissos Vieux-Fort, Linus Charles of Grace, Nicholson Charles, Ezra Johnny, Keith Johnny, and Jude Johnny. Brothers-in-law Cyril Justin, also known as Six of Grace, Louis Justin, also known as Champy of Grace, Joseph Johnny, also known as Nickel of Larissos Vieux-Fort. His granddaughter-in-law Keisha Simon, grandson-in-law Kurt Celestin, also known as Bobby of Grace. Godchildren Gladys Shalry of Grace, Francis Alexander Johnson of Grace. Many other close friends and family, including the family of the late Alphix Trim, especially Mr. Bruno Trim and Fidelis Trim, the Fontenelle family of Grace, Dennis Flood, Rebecca Phillip, also known as Effie of Grace, Morella John of Grace, Edward Victon and family of Grace, Toby Victor of Grace, Julietta James and family of Grace. The funeral service for the late Lawrence Charles, also known as Tig, will be held at Our Lady of the Assumption Catholic Church, Vieux-Fort, on Saturday, September 23, 2017, at 11 a.m. His body will be interred at the Latony Cemetery. His body now lies at Rambali's Funeral Parlor, Latony, Vieux-Fort.